What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Varsity Overland channel and Happy New Year. It's not quite New Year's here yet for me. It's the Tuesday before New Year's, so greetings from the past. Hope everybody enjoyed their New Year's Eve. They were able to have some fun, maybe relax. And I hope you're enjoying the future where there's flying cars, no sickness, and I have 1 billion followers. It's definitely how it's going to turn out. Today, we're going to do something I've been meaning to do for a while. A common problem with the ZR2 is, well, any Colorado actually, is the low-hanging shocks. So we're finally going to get a pair of shock skid plates installed underneath the truck. I haven't really done anything quite like this yet. Okay, I've had some experience, with the main skid plate in the front of the truck, but nothing major. I don't know if I'd consider this major. But like I've said in the past, I'm not a gearhead. So this is me trying something new. Hopefully I can inspire someone else to try something new like this and not have to take it to a body shop to do something simple like shock skids. And I'll try to film as much of it as I can. But yep, that's all I got. So let's get started with this video. Alright, so just wanted to show you guys what it was like opening the box, how everything is wrapped. This is from a company called Datin Metal Fabrication, or Datin. I don't know, maybe it's Datin. Not sure how to pronounce it. Hopefully I'm doing it right. We got some of the bolts we'll need to install. I'm assuming these are going to replace some of the existing bolts that are already underneath on the shocks, just to accommodate for the wider space. We got our second shock skid, if I can get this out with one hand. And, ooh, stickers. All right. I have a thing for stickers, so I like to stick them all over my Plano case that I keep all of our camping kitchen essentials inside. So yeah, all right, here's what we got. 2 skids, some bolts, some stickers. Easy enough. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to install one of them first, get a feel for it, so you guys don't have to watch me fumbling around, not knowing what I'm doing. Then I'll record the second one. So I have one of the skids positioned underneath the truck right now. Just wanted to show in detail a little bit more of how this is going to work. So both of the skids are the exact same shape. So there's no like certain left skid, right skid. There's no way to mix them up. They are exactly the same, okay? One of them just goes facing one direction and the other goes facing the other direction on the skid, or on the shock. These small tabs, these small pieces, are actually meant to help connect once it's up underneath and the shock is sitting inside. This piece needs to go behind the existing metal plate, whatever you want to call it, up here, so that once it's actually in place, it'll hold it up. And I'm gonna crawl underneath the truck right now and see if I can show you guys. So remember this, okay? This is the small, I'll call it the little plate. I'll show you where that belongs. All right, so under the truck, I have one of the skids just below the shock here. This section right here, this, where my finger is, this is where that small little metal plate belongs, that comes with the package. So you have to fish that middle plate, that small little piece in here, so that it rests up against the back when the full skid plate is installed. And you can see where the hole is positioned from the skid plate, how that's going to, wow, my hand's shaking, how that's going to kind of like keep the skid plate in place, along with obviously replacing this bolt that runs across here. This bolt will come out, and then the new bolt will go in right up against it and hold it in place. And then the other attachment point is that small little metal piece. So let's see if I can get this done on one side, and then I'll try to film the other side. Okay, so little update. Underneath the truck, I was able to get the shock, the bolt out of place. This is the original. I pulled the bolt out, and I was able to push the shock up. By the way, this is going to be a little bit of a pain, because as soon as you take the bolt out, the shock with all of its pressure wants to start sliding down. So I had to get two hands, muscle it up there, hold it in place as best I could while I put the new bolt in place, just to hold it still, to keep it from sliding down. And you'll notice over here, once this was out of place, I was able to put the small plate, kind of like wiggle it in there, rest it down, and it's just chilling in there right now. It's actually not attached to anything, and it wants to slide out pretty easy, so you got to be delicate about that part. So what happens next is I'll get the plate, or the skid plate. I'll put it up underneath, remove this, line up the holes, put it back, and then I will put the other bolt on the back side using the metal plate that's hidden in this little bracket area. Sounds easy. It has been a little difficult, but that's just because I've never done anything like this before. Something I will mention though, the existing bolt that came on the ZR2, it was really difficult to get off. My ratchet just wasn't enough, and I actually had to go get the tire. Oh, and there goes the metal piece. I had to go get the tire tool to gain enough leverage to kind of be able to loosen it. So if you've got a drill or an air compressed tool of some kind, you might not have that issue. I don't have access to that right now, so I'm going to keep working and hopefully be done with this pretty soon. All right, so we finally got the two of them installed. That's the driver's side. And over there we have the passenger side. And I have been underneath this truck for longer than expected. All right, so final thoughts. A couple things that'll help you out with this job are maybe a pair of pliers, ratchet for 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch bolts, and you might even need your spare tire tool if you don't have enough leverage, assuming it's the right size. Mine was a perfect size. To be perfectly honest, this whole thing took me probably a half hour, maybe like 35 minutes. But the biggest issue, most frustrating thing in the world, were those small little metal tabs that go on the backside of the skid plate. I tried the first skid plate on the driver's side. I tried putting those tabs on first before securing the bottom with the big bolt, and it didn't really work out that well. I had to kind of just secure the bottom to keep the whole skid plate in place. And then on the second one, I tried leaving the big bolt loose a little bit while I fished that metal piece in through the back. It was tough. If you have access to some sort of clamp, small clamp, even like a magnetic clamp of some kind, like a small magnet that you can put on the backside so that the metal piece, that metal plate doesn't just slide down every time. I mean, I was like fishing through the backside of the skid plate. I kept rubbing the inside of my fingers on the skid plate on the metal. It was slightly frustrating, to say the least, but it's done, it's on. And I didn't realize it, but luckily, before I had tightened everything down, Datin Metal Fabrication also includes some Loctite with their package, so I was able to put a little bit of Loctite on that small bolt on the backside. I didn't use it on the shock part, the bolt that goes through the shocks themselves. I'm assuming that's not where you're supposed to put the Loctite, so I put it on the other side, where the metal skid meets the bolt itself on the plate. And I barely used any, so if I have to take it off in the future for some reason, then I'm sure it'll be possible. But anyway, yeah, if you guys have any comments about these specific shock skids, post something down below, ask away. I don't know a whole lot about the company of Datin Metal Fabrication. I just know that they are accessible through Amazon, and 'tis the season to get gifts and whatnot, and when you have a couple Amazon gift cards, that's maybe what you end up going with, just because of where you find these things. So shock skids are on, and I'd say I was pretty successful. Not the hardest thing in the world. I don't know a whole lot about this kind of stuff, so if I was able to do it, you can definitely do it. But yeah, that's all the time I got. So tune in next week. I feel like now that I've done these things, I can tackle anything. So tune in next week when I attempt to change my headlight fluid and install a flux capacitor. I feel like I can definitely take on those two things. No sarcasm there. Peace, people.